So, Bridgerton, season 3. We could talk about Bridgerton in general, but focus is season 3. Uh, oh, what a season.
I was not happy.
No, not at all.
I finished it last night, and there were good scenes for part 2.
There were. I will give them that. There were better. Part 2 was better than part 1 because
Yeah.
we watched part 1 together, and the whole time I was saying, like, this is really dragging. Like, this does
Yeah.
not feel good.
My thing is, it seemed like they weren't even focusing on Penn and
Yeah,
Colin.
there were way too many
It's like
storylines going on.
it felt more of like part 2 seemed more of like John and Francesca's season
Honestly,
than Penn
so,
and Colin.
like, Nicola Coughlan, when doing the press for this season, was like, yeah, season 1 was like passion or something, season 2 was yearning, and this season was romance. That was Francesca and John for me.
Mm-hmm.
That was not them. Francesca and John were the stars of this season, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
They dragged me in. I was like, they were the ones I was
Yeah.
invested in. I
Yeah, no,
loved them.
they were adorable. I love them. John and Francesca are like my favorite book.
Mm-hmm.
I say that for all the books, but I actually do think of if I'm not choosing Colin and Penn's book, it's John and Francesca's.
Yeah. They're just so
Granted,
adorable.
it's only half the book, but
yeah.
Yeah.
But those are spoilers for people who haven't read the books, but
yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah.
just, oh my god. It's I don't know. Like, I don't think it's possible for people who haven't read the books to not know that spoiler, though. Because
Yeah.
with Michaela and everything that they did, like, you
Yeah.
have to know.
I just don't like that they had Francesca fawning over Michaela, because it's in the books, it's Michael fawning over
Mm-hmm.
Francesca, even though he doesn't actually do it, because he's like, I love my brother, well, my cousin, but they're close enough to be brothers
Mm-hmm.
so much. I'm just going to hide my feelings and yearn from a distance, even after John died.
Yearning, man. Yearning is
It was
so good.
it was true yearning, and I did not like how immediately they meet and she's tongue tied, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I get what they're doing.
For me,
But that's not the Francesca I know.
yeah, for me, it was giving she's bi-romantic, but only sexually interested in women. That was my vibe from
Yeah.
that. From, like, between her reaction to the kiss in the wedding and her just seeing Michaela, I was like, But I have told you my theory, but I'll say it again for the podcast. For Francesca and that whole Michaela thing, I know there's a lot of controversy over the fact that they gender swapped Michael. My opinion, my theory is that it's somewhat like a Shadow and Bone kind of theory of, like, they always plan to cancel after season 2. They don't expect to get to Francesca's proper season, so they just threw it in of like, oh, well, we planned to have a queer season and we just got canceled, so we can't do it.
Yeah.
Plus, Francesca would be the best choice from, like, a director company standpoint to be like, oh, we can get the straight couple in and have that straight pairing, and then we could throw in, like, it's like an extra, like a spare kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is just your bonus couple, and that's gonna be our sapphics, because we know Netflix hates sapphics, so there's no chance they're getting screen time. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, I honestly don't even think they're gonna do an Eloise season.
I think they're ending after 4.
Yeah, because that's what it seems like. I think they're gonna do what they did in this season, is that they're gonna throw Benedict and Eloise together, and it's just going to be a whole thing, and I'm not going to like it, because I have not liked anything since the start of season 3, as someone who's read the books.
Yeah, honestly, my thoughts, they're going to do Benedict's, they're going to focus on Benedict, and Eloise is just going to be, like, a hint. Like, they're going to imply it. Like, with Shadow and Bone, I just took a shower and I was thinking about this. So like I just started connecting dots, so I'm going to be talking about Shadow of Bone a bit. But for the end of that second season, the very end, when they're wrapping up all storylines and everything, they show the crows and they're like, "Oh, we have a new job thing." And they're the implication is that would be the the heist in Fierda, the ice court heist, I think it is. I can't remember the name. I know it's ice. I can't remember the second word. But so they're implying that therefore they're going to get Matthias out of prison. They're going to go to Fierda. They're going to do that whole heist thing, which is one of the best parts of that series. Like that is the part. That is the thing. That is that whole duology is about. So like the fact that it just got turned into an implication is really annoying. But yeah, it's just like they really screwed over Matthias and Nina in that show, but like whatever. They're not my favorite, I'll admit. My favorite, I'm torn between Inej and Kaz and Jesper and Wylan, just because watching that show, this is such a tangent, but watching that show, Jack Wolf as Wylan Van Eck gave me such gender envy. It was so bad. So like I love them and I love their relationship.
Yeah.
But I also love Kanej. Anyway, yeah, that implication of like we're gonna continue the storyline and these things will happen, but we're not showing you is kind of what I'm thinking they're gonna do for Eloise. Of like show her writing or show her like with ink on her hands like they would with pen. Kind of a thing like that.
Because that's whole how Philip and Eloise's relationship start is that they're just pen pals after Marina dies. So I think Marina is going to die sometime either between
I think
season 3 and 4 or in season 4.
I think they're going to do it in season 4 because that's part of like implication. And also like with Eloise, the costuming was implying things because they were doing like the flower patterns and stuff. So like they've already started the implications, which is why I think there will not be a follow through.
Yeah.
That's Netflix's biggest issue. There is no follow through.
No, and they also like to take stuff and just like completely change it. Like let's take like another TV show that they've totally ruined is The Witcher. I haven't watched after season 2, I think, or 3.
I watched season 1. I couldn't get into it. I watched season 1 because of Henry Cavill.
Yeah, I watched it too, and then I stayed for Joey Bailey.
Oh yeah, isn't that the bard?
I love him. Yeah, that's the bard.
Yeah,
he's. I love Joey Bailey. I love his band too, Amazing Devil.
Yeah, I don't know any of the character names or anything really, except like Geralt and Ciri. But the witch lady,
Yennefer.
Witch, yeah, she was hot. Not gonna lie, I watched for her too. It was a good time.
I started for Henry Cavill and stayed for Joey Beatty, and I stopped watching for Henry Cavill because he got fired because he wanted to.
He was like a serious book reader, wanted to keep it as accurate. No,
he is a big gamer too, and he loves the Witcher series.
God, I love Henry Cavill.
That's why I'm actually going to watch the Warhammer 4K. I don't play it, but I have a feeling it's going to be really good because he's directing it and he plays it.
He's directing too.
Yeah, he's also starring in it.
That's so awesome.
I don't remember if he's directing or if he's producing. But he's like,
love that when actors are like, I'm gonna just try this.
Yeah, no, he is literally my favorite actor because when he also was really into. I think he also said he was really into Superman and stuff in the Justice League, and he was an amazing Superman. Like. I don't see him as a Clark Kent, but he was a really good Superman.
I look at him and I'm like, yeah, that's Superman.
Yeah.
He just has the vibe.
He is, and it's just it's amazing.
I love when nerds start like making their projects. Like I love a good project. You know me. I literally recently for the podcast, for any listeners, I was born with the How Hard Could It Be gene, and I watched part of one 12-minute video of a person talking about their experience making their video game. And I went, I could do that. So now I'm learning Unreal Engine because of course I'm going to go 3D because I'm insane and can't make anything easy for myself. And today and yesterday I'm learning Blender and how to 3D model because I'm psychotic. So I'm a big project fan of nerds. I'm like, yeah, you do that. I started watching Nerd Forge a bit yesterday. They do some pretty cool stuff. I'm like, I just love it. I love it. Give me your passionate nerds just doing things they love because they go crazy. Some of the things people make are insane.
I know. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Like, getting back to Netflix now.
Yeah.
With them ruining shows. They do that a lot where they'll do like games, books, whatever,
Avatar.
adaptations. Like, again, Shadow and Bone, one of my favorite books and everything. So them making an adaptation was like a big deal for me. This is a hot take, I enjoyed what they did to change the ending. Because in the books, I don't know if you've read all the books. Have you?
Ma'am, I haven't even read the first one, and I haven't finished this second season. I haven't even started the second season.
Okay. You suck. First of all, read the books. Honestly, you could probably skip the Shadow and Bone trilogy and go straight to the Six of Crows. Okay, if you read nothing else, you have to read the Six of Crows duology. It is so good. It's just this gritty heist, 6 criminals who love each other and are a family, and it's the best thing in the world. But
I'll try. I mean, I just graduated, so I have tons of time. So,
it's so good. Yeah. But anyway, back to my point. In the books, at the end of the third book in the trilogy, the Shadow and Bone trilogy, which is the only trilogy in the universe, there's Shadow and Bone trilogy, Six of Crows duology, and then the King of Scars duology, which is also super slay. But I hated one of the things that happens in the second book. I'm sure if you've read them, you know what I'm talking about. I cried like a baby. It was not a good time, and my heart broke, and I lost faith in humanity. Anyway, in the third and final book of the trilogy, obviously you can guess a character dies, and I was very upset. In the main trilogy, at the end, Alina, goes, she does the whole, if you haven't watched season 2, so I can't even give you that. Like,
I've seen spoilers.
Well, yeah, I know you have spoilers, but like, I can't be like, oh, when she does this. So when Alina gets rid of the fold, when she tears that down.
Was that the black veil thingy?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when she brings that down, she loses her powers, and they like firework out of her and go to other people, like more sun, what's the word? More sun people with the sun powers are born, basically. I can't remember what the words are right now. So she loses her powers, and then she marries Mal, and she goes and runs an orphanage. It sucks. I hate it. And I love the change that Netflix did because it leaves off, obviously it's like kind of a cliffhanger, kind of not, because there's still the Jurda Parem and everything that's on the Six of Crows storyline, but also like they've implied they do that, they solve it, whatever. But I love the idea of Alina getting the Darkling's powers from killing him and the fold and everything and turning evil. I love that idea. The cyclical nature of having so much power that you just, what else is there to do except turn evil? Because that's all that's left. You've been the hero. You either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain, and that's what they're doing, and I love it. I loved that. That was honestly stellar, because I always hated how Alina's storyline ended. But yeah,
I hate it. Like, that's why I hated like bringing a Qatar into this. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
really hated the end of Nesta's book. Which one was that one? The
Silver
last one.
Flames.
Yeah, Silver Flames.
Yeah.
I hated how she just like gave up her powers.
Yeah.
Like, I get she was saving her sister, but that's like,
And I do like it in the sense of she didn't enjoy her powers. She didn't
yeah,
like
that's
having
true.
them. She
Yeah,
felt like she was Lady Death, and that really was a problem for her. So I
yeah,
do appreciate it in the fact that it will allow her to heal mentally a lot
yes,
easier and a lot better, I think. But
mm-hmm.
also, like, I would have loved to see her, like, embrace it more.
Yeah, because like, I don't know. It's just, I hate it when strong female characters just like end up
Yeah.
giving up their powers and then like kind of becoming docile.
Yeah.
I know Nesta hasn't,
Like
and I have
Feyre.
obviously haven't read, but yeah, like Feyre, and it's just like I'm sick and tired of authors doing that because it's just like, why,
That's one
why?
of the things I love about the Six of Crows books is that at the
Mm-hmm.
end, like, so obviously the pairings, Kanej is Kaz and Inej. And at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the second book, this is like a spoiler, but like you're probably not going to read them anyway. So Kaz finds her parents, her family,
Mm-hmm.
buys her a boat, and tells her, go on, go kill all these pirates and all these, like, become a pirate, go kill all these slavers. You do you. I love you. This is my way of showing you I love you. I
Mm-hmm.
found your family and I bought you a boat so you could go kill slavers and save people like you couldn't be saved.
Adorable. I love
It's
that.
amazing. It's such a moment
Sarah
of
J.
like,
Maas could never.
yeah, it's such a moment of like a power couple. Like he
Mm-hmm.
is staying home, being the boss of the barrel and master of the barrel and being strong on his own. And then sometimes his little wife comes to visit after killing a bunch of slavers. And it's like, "Hi babe." I
Hey,
love
yeah,
it. And
but
they are mentioned in like King of Scars. Like I actually should look it up if she has more books planned. I'm not sure.
yeah,
If I think she said she wasn't gonna make a Six of Crows 3 because people were really worried about it because she said, "Oh, I might make one, but if I do, another crow is going to die." And so people were
don't
like,
do that.
"I really want another book, but I don't want anyone to die." So, because like in the King of Scars duology, how it ends is Zoya, who is now queen,
Mm-hmm.
um, and she ends up with Nikolai, and I love them so much.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the couples that Yeston and I have talked about doing a Halloween costume for because we love them so much and we relate so much. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because he is just little pretty boy. um, anyway, at the end of that series, Zoya is like, call Kazbrecker or like send word to Kazbrecker, I have a job for him, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, there's things. And like they talk about Inej, who's like, and they give, oh, I'm pretty sure this is a thing that happens. I can't remember exactly. But Nikolai gives Inej, so like in like, I believe they're like trading kind of a thing of he makes a trade with Kaz.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, oh, I hear, I don't know exactly how it happens, but basically Inej's boat becomes one of like the flying boats that Sturmhond has. It's so sick, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
You haven't even met Nikolai. You haven't watched the second season.
Yeah. I've
Oh
been
my
meaning
god, you
to.
have to watch it because
You saw how
Nikolai.
long it took me to rewatch Bridger or watch part 2 of Bridgerton though.
I know, but come on, Nikolai's
Granted,
hot,
Six of
dude.
Crows or the part 2 has been out for a while, but
Yeah, season two's been
I
out
just
for a
be
long
busy,
time,
man.
but like Nikolai is really, really hot, and there's a few shirtless scenes. Not gonna lie,
No.
you've seen because I made a presentation.
Yeah.
I did. Maybe I'll put the presentation on the Patreon so people can see it because it was really good. I
Ooh.
loved it.
We should do monthly presentations and us
Monthly is a
presenting
little
them.
strong just from I'm
Oh yeah,
about
no,
to be
not
taking
monthly.
18 credit hours again.
Yeah, I forget some people are still in school. I'm sorry.
You literally just graduated.
I know, but also I don't think about school when I'm on summer break, and I'm still in summer break mode.
Oh,
Even
yeah. Well, you see, I'm still
yeah,
taking classes, so
yeah, yeah. It's
yeah.
hard because like sometimes I'm like, oh, I need to start packing for college, and then I'm like, no, I don't. I need to be looking for a job
I
or
am
applying to grad school.
my comp sci class is almost over and I'm so excited because it's so boring. It's
Yeah.
so easy. And like so I know in high school I took AP comp sci, so I learned Java. And
Hmm.
then for our engineering fundamentals, I've learned MATLAB. Um, so for comp sci 102 in college is C++,
Uh-huh.
which, if you know Java and MATLAB and other coding languages, is super easy to learn because they're all very similar with like very
Yeah.
slight differences. And so
Hmm.
it's so annoying because, like, I'm technically a senior. I have one more year left after this, but I'm a senior because I have to take 5 years because my minor, it's complicated, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm a senior in this like freshman level class, and I'm like, bro, this is like, so easy because I also have like it's like a superpower kind of I just really understand coding really easily, which is another
I
reason
watch you what you
why.
do in the Discord, and I'm like, ma'am, my little arts and science brain that just gotten a degree in anthropology and classical archaeology and a minor in English can't even comprehend.
Yeah,
I'm just
it's
sitting here like,
the most annoying thing was when I was trying to run the one code on the testing scripts and I was trying to error check it and figure it out of what was wrong. Freaking the text that was telling me, which exactly told me what was wrong, was a dark blue on a black screen. I could not see it until I took that picture of it and sent it, like, oh my god, I don't know what's wrong. It won't tell
yeah,
me. And then I saw it and I was like, oh, it's because I had this as a C out statement and not a C error statement. It was
yeah.
so annoying. I know you don't understand the words I just said.
I tried to teach myself coding from Code Academy, and I'm like,
C
I got
out?
HTML, and that's it.
Okay. So C out, if you know, like, you probably don't know like basics of Java, but so in
Mm-mm.
Java, it's like a print statement. It just prints
Mhm.
to the console, basically. But C error is a error message instead. So it's just
Yeah.
like what you use for, oh, error, return one to end your program, kind of a thing.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I just realized we need to be talking about Bridgerton.
Yeah, we have gone on way off topic, but what else is
Yeah,
new? I'm gonna leave
true.
this all in.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So,
But
Bridgerton. I can code
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton now.
You
Uh,
could probably code Bridgerton better than the writers and producers could create a
Probably.
good
Oh,
season 3.
my game idea is like a cottagecore, fairycore thing. Sorry to go right back off topic, but I swear this kind of relates. Um, I want to do like I'm still really torn on some mechanics, but I don't have to make decisions just yet because I still have a
Mhm.
long way to go. Currently, I can just change from first person to third person camera. That's all I have right
Ooh,
now. Um,
that's progress.
but that's just because I've been working on like practices and tutorials and not like the game
Yeah.
file. Um, so my plan for it is to have like a whole royalty kind of a thing and like have like society and stuff. So like
Yeah.
maybe there'll be like a Bridgerton aspect to it.
Yeah.
But
Do Regency style clothing.
yeah, honestly, I
Mhm.
love Regency style like dresses. They're so
It's
pretty.
gorgeous. I love it.
Some of Penn's dress, that green dress. Oh my
I
god.
loved all of her dresses this season was a slay. If
Yes.
like I know people will be like, "Oh, it's not historically accurate." I don't care.
Who cares? It's
It
TV.
was gorgeous.
You know what
It's
show I
TV.
love that's not accurate to history? Lady Jane Grey. My Lady Jane. It's so good, dude. I love it. It's uh I think it's like way before Regency and everything, obviously, because it's King Edward and all of that. But it's great. It's wonderful, and I love it. Bridgerton. The thing I was gonna say. Whoa, no, what's his name?
Colin Benedict.
No. The other suitor.
Oh, Lord Debling.
He was a little bitch.
I hated him.
Bitch, because
I liked him at first, and then he's like, "Oh, I just want you to stay at home and watch the house, and you can't fall in love with anybody." And I was just sitting here like,
bro.
Bro.
I hated him because the whole thing that ends up with Colin and Penn getting together with the carriage scene, which I was a little upset we didn't get a second one, but whatever. So the thing that pissed me off.
Well, I'm just upset when they had it.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think they
what's going on?
Yeah, because sorry, I know this is the books versus the TV series, and people are
always better.
The books are always better, and people are supposed to take creative liberty whenever you're doing adaptations, whatever. I just do not think that they should have gotten together before Colin found out that Penelope was Lady Whistledown.
Yeah.
They didn't get together till after, actually, what got them together was Colin finding out she was Lady Whistledown, because he followed her to a church when she was dropping off her whatever that was basically yelling at Credessa for taking her shine, and trying to say, "Oh yeah, I am Lady Whistledown," and then they get together, and then it's the carriage scene. Yeah. I did not like the ordering of events.
Yeah, I very much disliked it as well, just because it felt very disingenuous.
Yeah. Also, every other season follows the linear pattern of the plot of each book loosely. It's still linear. It's still following each scene, but it's
not out of order.
It's not out of order. This was
some things are cut, but it's not out of order.
Yeah, and it just, I did not like it. I was very upset. I hated how the fact that he finds out in it's episode 6, and all of episode 7 they're just
annoyed,
not talking, miscommunication trope, whatever.
And there was such a good moment for angry makeout sessions, and they just skipped it. They just went no. Bruh.
And the only one that they had was when she was coming back from Gwen. Is it Gwen or Guinevere? Guinevere.
Genevieve?
The Modiste. Yeah, Guinevere. Isn't that her name?
I don't know her name.
Yeah, I forgot her name, but the Modiste's house. And that's the only time, and I was just like, I was
the opportunities.
I finished it at 1 a.m. last night, and I was like, damn it, I can't rant to her about it.
It was really annoying.
Yeah. But back to Lord Debling.
Yeah, back to why Lord Debling's a bitch, and I hate him. So, the final part of his final scene, is him telling Penn, I'm not comfortable with this, you're in love with Colin's in love with you, whatever. That little bitch had been, placing himself between them for several scenes at this point, where he would catch Colin looking over, and he would place himself in between so Penn wouldn't see. He knew far before that scene, and he was fine with it until it was you have to stay home and be my little wife and be docile and don't do things. Bro. Yeah. He would not have liked her being girl boss Lady Whistledown. And her boy toy smut writer Colin is fine with it after he got over his stupid jealousy that he shouldn't have had.
Him and Eloise. I will say I was really pissed on how they did Eloise, because she is literally Penelope's hype woman in the book when she finds out she's Lady Whistledown, and I was not here for it. I did not like how strained they made their relationship. They're best friends in the book.
It was so annoying. The one thing they did right was Hyacinth being so happy.
I adored Hyacinth. And then
it was so adorable.
And then Penelope's sisters, Prudence and Philippa, I love them.
I love them so much. Philippa is my
Inserts
favorite.
himself where? Barty, the bugs!
Dude, I'm gonna be quoting that so often. Anytime I heard the word insert, it's gonna be inserts himself where?
You
The
know
way
what?
she says it.
If you don't bring that up at least one time in the campaign,
oh, I will. Oh, Barbie? It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect for her.
And then the bugs, the Barty the bugs,
yes.
or whatever. And
she's
running
butterflies.
And it was so cute. I love Philippa. Philippa is my favorite.
Love her and Mr. Finch because he's just like, that's my wife. I trust her implicitly. She will. And then, she's always right. What a good guy.
And Prudence growing as a character, I adored that.
Yes.
Like, she was like all grumpy and like, oh, I'm married, whatever, blah blah blah. And then like she slowly grows, and then when Penelope and Colin get engaged, and Miss Feather or Lady Featherington is like actually what's the word? Like paying attention and realizing, oh, I fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I need to fix this with my daughter.
And she just wants her
being
attention.
A good mom. Like honestly, okay, I love Violet. I do. Lady Featherington, I think, was a better mom this season than Violet was.
Yes.
Like, she was a good mom to Colin. She was not a good mom to Francesca.
Yeah. Lady Featherington,
she slayed.
She always slays, first of all. That woman is a mega slay. Her as a mom, not so slay usually, I will say.
Part 2?
But I understand. Like, she's a bad mom in the sense of, like, being there for her daughters and, like, actually emotionally being there for them. But in the sense of, like, this is life or death kind of a situation of, like, I need to protect my family. Mega slay.
She's very much Mrs. Bennet.
Yes. She's very much, I need to protect my family. Yeah. And
she's like,
whatever.
Yeah, and she's like, my dreams are that you guys do successfully in getting married and whatever. And I when that scene happened, I was like, oh, I'm gonna cry. Mm-hmm. I'm really going to cry.
Dude, when Pen is considering like giving up her pen, and like giving up Lady Whistledown because of Colin and everything, and she's talking to her mom, and her mom is like, ladies don't have dreams, they have husbands. Dude.
I was like, oh.
That hurt.
That really hurt
so bad because society now still says that, basically. Like, that's still the whole thing. And it's just like, I was ready to cry. I felt like I was at the Barbie movie. I was like, oh. My goodness.
Yeah.
That was such a powerful, like, this season, Pen and Mrs. Featherington had such powerful emotional scenes for me.
Yeah.
About, like, a woman's place in society.
Yeah. And then also, I would like to segue to the ending. I hated how rushed the ending was.
Yeah.
Like, immediately jumps to... I want to say it's, like, at least 9 months later. Probably a little bit more.
It was definitely more than 9 months, considering Pen wasn't even pregnant yet.
I thought it kind of was implied, because she took Colin's hand and put it on her stomach. Like, when they were talking about what to do with Credessa by themselves right before she sends a letter to Violet and all them.
I did not see that, but I also don't think that would be the implication, just because they only had 6 months. And at that point, and also, like, they hadn't been, like, talking or whatever, so, like, when would she have told him, kind of a thing?
Yeah, well, no, I thought it was, like, she was implying that she was, or I thought she was implying that she was pregnant there. That's what I was getting at. But again, that was my
That's
take.
A loose
it's very loose. But, because, like,
I love that she had the boy, though.
Yeah, I as much as I miss her firstborn being Agatha after Lady Danbury,
it wouldn't have made as much sense.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
they haven't built up their relationship.
I kind of, yeah, that was my one thing. Is like I was hoping that they would build up Agatha and Pin's relationship because they're really good friends in the book. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's like Violet and Agatha's friendship,
Mm-hmm.
and Lady Danbury for people who don't remember her first name. um,
Oh, after you're done with
yeah,
this, I have a quarrel to say. Just
yeah.
you reminded me.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So, I was kind of hoping that they would build up that relationship, and then there was one more friendship that Penelope has in the book that she did not have as strong, and for the life of me, I cannot remember. And I was hoping they would play her and Anthony because Anthony is like her
Yes.
older brother,
They
and like
kind of
it's kind of
showed
implied.
that a
They kind
little,
of showed it,
but
but
not a
it's like
lot.
not enough.
Yeah.
And it's like
Benedict's comment of like, "Are you gonna duel your own brother?" was so funny.
it was because like out of context, if you didn't know that they were friends in the book, they barely have any scenes together.
Yeah.
And then like it is implied that they've known each other for a while. But like you don't really see that because I don't think she's really interacted with Anthony but like
I don't think she
twice.
has at all.
Yeah. I
And it's really
Yeah,
sad
actually
because
you're
I would
right.
have loved to see like that
Yeah.
big brother relationship and how that would have played into like Colin's mindset and like fear of acting on his feelings.
Yeah. Cuz it's a whole thing in the book. And then
Yeah.
one last thing before you start your rant. I also hated how Colin was a rake this season as well.
He's supposed to be a
Like
my wife guy and he just
he is
wasn't.
well, the thing is, in the book, he is also kind of a rake, but it's not to this point. He's not like standoffish,
Mm-hmm.
stoic, whatever. He's still his happy-go-lucky dude. He just got some. Granted, they are like, I think he's like almost 30, and Penn is like 27.
Yeah.
So,
I
but
did enjoy Penn's whistle down thing of being like he
yeah,
doesn't know himself. That was
mm-hmm.
good because it was accurate.
It was, and he's like, and what about all you said? And he's like, well, yeah, because you're not who I fell in love with. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a lot of opinions about this season.
Yeah. We can go back to Colin being a wife guy after this quick little thing. It is pretty quick. For those interested in any sense of like film direction, cameras, stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
There was one scene in part 2 that was abysmal. I don't understand how the director looked at that and went, that's the take we're gonna keep. We're gonna keep those shots. And it's when Lady Danbury and Violet are talking, Miss Bridgerton. They're talking, and they're doing over-the-shoulder shots. And you see 3/4, like a half to 3/4 of the screen is taken up by the back of the person's head. And then the last, like, fifth of the screen is the other person in focus talking. Who signed off on that? Because that is the worst camera work I have seen in my entire life. It was so bad.
I knew. So I didn't know what you were talking about because you ranted to me about this before before I finished the season, and I got to that scene and I was like, oh, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And like the only good part of the scene is that like it pans to Francesca and John at the end, and I can kind of see what they're getting at. But I didn't like how they kept on switching back and forth. There are so many other ways you could have done. They could have
At least put the other person in the freaking frame and not just like half their face in the last fifth of the screen. But one thing I did enjoy about that scene that's really funny is that they're talking about like Violet and Lady Danbury's brother, and they're discussing it, and then she's like, well, I fucked your dad, so I think we're pretty even. And then it goes to it goes to the crown, the birthday crown, and I was like, dude, if you haven't watched Queen Charlotte's miniseries and you don't know what we're talking about, that is where that happened, where Lady Danbury fucks Violet's dad, which is so messy, and I love it. And the fact that Violet finds out is so funny.
I honestly think that is so awkward.
That is so awkward. That is so messy, dude.
Yeah. And then what was
I
it?
was really hoping that they were going to do like a little thing of like, this is the king's guy from Queen Charlotte, and he's still alive and happy, and they're in love. And then they didn't.
Yeah. I kind of I'm sad that what was his name? The king's guy.
I don't know. That's why I called him the
Because I
king's
know,
guy.
yeah, the king's guy. I was kind of sad he wasn't in there, and I was kind of hoping we'd have more King George, especially after it is King George,
Queen
right?
Charlotte.
Yeah, after Queen
Yeah.
Charlotte. And I was kind of hoping we'd have just like slight more, because I did like, I think it was season 2 when they had like the mini wedding thing after Edwina's failed wedding to Anthony.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hoping they'd have a little bit more, because it's absolutely adorable. I love Queen Charlotte and George. They're the cutest, and it's a whole thing. And
I absolutely love Anthony and Kate.
I know
too.
Her dresses this season.
Her dresses were
hair.
She has a beautiful. That was a. What's her name? Simone. Something. I almost said Simone Biles. No.
Bridgerton. I'm looking up Simone Ashley.
Simone Ashley is a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything they put her in, she was just so stunning. Her in like jewel tones,
gorgeous,
bro. It like even in season 2, like when it's supposed to be like we're still supposed to be like rooting for Edwina, and like Edwina's the one that has to be all dolled up because she's on the marriage mart.
Mm-hmm.
Kate steals the show, dude. It's so beautiful, so beautiful.
Sorry, I looked up her name, and now I'm like looking at scenes from both seasons of her dresses, and I'm just like, where can I buy these? They're so gorgeous.
I've had so part of my jack of all trades. I do sew. I do have a sewing machine. I've made a few dresses, and I have a few planned that I just have not gotten around to for so long. And I can't bring myself to make them. It's just so much work, and like while I love it, I love sewing because it's very like steadying for me because I have mental illness. It's just a lot, and I haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah,
I'm very sad.
Well, sorry, there is a Funko Pop of her one of her dresses, and she has the mallet of death.
Oh yes,
and
I love that.
Sorry, I get distracted easily. I need to close off that. Thank you.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah,
I got Funko Pops. I think I'm only missing 2 from the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yeah,
I have, because Barnes & Noble was having a sale, and they had most of them, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get them.
Yeah, I only have 2. I want to get more, but I only my 2 are Jane Austen that I bought from eBay because I'm obsessed with her books. And
I fucking love Jane Austen, dude. Pride and Prejudice 2005, starring Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadyen. I could quote from heart.
And then
I
Emma,
love that.
Emma, I forgot which one it is. I think it's like the early 2000s Emma, though, that I watched in film class, because I took film class in high school because I'm a nerd. Oh my god, it was gorgeous. I loved it. I need to read it. Emma and Mr. Kingsley, or Lord Kingsley, Mr. Kingsley, I forgot his name.
I think it's Mr.
Yeah, Mr. Kingsley. Adorable. I love them.
Emma's one of the books I think we were supposed to read for the Jane Austen class that I didn't read. I took it and I didn't reread any of the books or read them.
Honestly, I skimmed through them. The only other book I read, because I took the Intro to Jane Austen class too, was I reread Pride and Prejudice because I do that all the time. And then I read Northanger Abbey because that one.
Northanger?
Sorry.
It's fine. I know what it was. So.
Yeah, Northanger Abbey. I read that because it was her parody of like the dark what was it? The Gothic literature that the Bronte sisters did, and I hate the Bronte sisters.
I hate the Bronte sisters. Yeah. Okay, hot take. That's not so hot. I don't care if you love the Bronte sisters. Wuthering Heights is trash. It is so bad. I had to read it in high school English. Oh. I had to read it in high school. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I had to read it in high school English for my honors class because that class was a nightmare. I loved the teacher. Love her. She made me hate life for a little because we had to, part of my honors AP whatever class, we had to do one essay every week plus 2 like short write-ups that were like 3 to 5 paragraphs still on 2 of those and an essay every single week while we went through this book and all these tropes, and it was a nightmare. And I love her so much. She has made me, I can write an essay so fast now. Like that was her whole thing of like, you're going to be able to write an essay in an hour and it's going to be perfect. And it worked. Like I can write an essay like nobody's business. Of course, I'm studying mechanical engineering, so I don't have to write essays. But
lucky duck, I have to write them all the time.
Dude, I would prefer. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, I love writing essays.
You have seen some of the things I have had to do for engineering.
Yeah, no, I am so glad to do essays all the time. Like I love. Like, don't get me started. My last essay that I wrote for my college degree, it's always going to have a special place in my heart because it's combining my two degrees. I'm not going to go off because I will go off on like an hour-long tangent on how much I loved my paper. But
back to my main point of like, I read Wuthering Heights in high school, and it was an over the summer kind of a thing where we had to start in the summer and we were going through it in class.
Yeah, we had to do that.
I didn't finish it because I physically couldn't without like getting super pissed off or falling asleep.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't read Wuthering Heights, the basic way it is written is that you are this guy who has come into the area and is staying at this house, and this maid or whatever is telling you the story about people she used to work for. It is like
it's horrible.
3 times removed from the actual people the story is about, and it's the dumbest shit I have ever read. No. Why?
So I read it I tried to read it on my own because I was that girl in high school.
I read Pride and Prejudice out of my own free will.
That's what I did because I was like, I want to watch Pride and Prejudice. And so I'm going to read the book. And I
read the book and then I watched 2005 and fell in love immediately. And the first time I ever watched Pride and Prejudice 2005, I watched it twice in the same day.
That's what I did.
I tried to get my mom to watch it and she was like, no.
My mom's like that too. She's like, Colin Firth. That's the better Pride and Prejudice. I'm like, no.
Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden,
I will say,
perfect.
Yes,
Keira Knightley is so hot.
Okay, so my only take is that I love Keira Knightley as an actor. I think she's too hot for Elizabeth's role. She would have made a great Jane, and Jane's actor would have been a good Elizabeth. I think.
I get that
when it comes to like.
Because, like, she's clearly the stereotypical, this is our heroine. This is...
Yeah.
I love, though, that Matthew McFadden, no shade. He looks perfectly fine in that movie. But I love the fact that they play down his attractiveness until the moment when she's at Pemberley and there's sun shining and he smiles at her for the first time. And you're like, oh.
Okay.
He's hot.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. No, but so I read that and then I read Jane Eyre right after that. And Jane Eyre, if you don't know, is about an 18-year-old falling in love with her 40-year-old employer. And then and then you find out that said employer first off has an illegitimate daughter, and then has his wife locked up in the attic. And then later in the book, she goes, because she's insane, the wife, she sets fire to the house, he gets burned, and I don't remember how it happens. I think she goes back to the thing, but he comes after, or because he sends her away, but she comes back to him, and then they get married, and then she does the one thing that she said she was not going to do, which was send if they got married, and that is to send the illegitimate daughter away to boarding school. She did that, and I was livid because, excuse you,
like it's not your daughter.
It's not your daughter, and like the I mean, the guy didn't do anything to stop her either, but like I was just so freaking mad.
Yeah.
And
One of the things with Wuthering Heights when I read it is that, so I didn't finish it and we had assignments about it. So instead of finishing the book or reading like the Spark Notes or whatever, I watched the Thug Notes video, I think it's called. And you know what? I understood what happened afterwards. It was really good.
yeah.
But, yeah. That was so fun.
Yeah. But anyways, the Bronte sisters suck. Northanger Abbey, best book. I loved it. So cute. It was just because I normally don't like Gothic literature. I love that. Jane Austen, best writer, I think,
honestly,
ever.
my favorite thing about that intro to Jane Austen class is that for the Pride and Prejudice section, we were doing Pride and Prejudice and those themes and comparing it and like to an adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. And the adaptation he picked was Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which is an amazing movie.
I love the guy who plays Darcy because he also plays Davil in Maleficent.
Yes,
and
I loved him.
I love him.
That movie is so good.
It is so good. I love both of them.
Because like there's two ways you can go for adaptations, in my opinion. You can go super serious, stick to the book, don't really go off and do things on your own, except Pride and Prejudice 2005, my favorite movie ever, has one thing that they go off book for that I can like think of clearly, and that is the location of the first proposal.
Yeah.
That they did so well. It is so much better.
The rain scene between
the rain and the gazebo
hand.
And the tension. So good.
So good.
But yeah, so you can either go super serious, super stick to the books, or go off the walls crazy. We're doing a campy, like fun little thing. And that's Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
So I actually read the first book of Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies because it's like a trilogy.
Oh my god, there's books?
Yeah, there's books. And it's also so insane because it's like written like it's Jane Austen writing it. But it's just zombies.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But it's like I think it's either a trilogy or there's like 4 books. I can't remember.
A quartet.
Yeah, a quartet. I can't remember how many books there are. There's more than, but I know there's at least 3. Because the second one is
that is like, amazing.
Yeah, and but I haven't finished the season or series because I'm not into zombies. I just read it because I watched the movie.
Honestly, I might have to go find those books now because that sounds so funny.
Oh, there's one spoiler though. It is that Darcy does apparently get turned into a zombie, but he gets turned back into a human.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
acceptable.
And I think they solved the zombie problem. That's like because I think the last book is dealing with them trying to save everything and like get rid of all the zombies and stuff. But
yeah. I'm not like a huge zombie horror. Well, actually, when I was in middle school, I was really
Yeah,
it was more like 4th grade to middle school. I was so into the hardcore. I was reading. Oh my god, what's
Stephen King?
No, this was a different thing. It was like
I don't know.
Let me see if I can find.
Yeah, I was also like from 4th grade to like middle school. I was big horror. I would read all the scary, spooky stories. I would watch all the horror movies, all that. And then I think it was starting with like I was watching World War Z or something.
Dan Pawlowski. I loved him. He did The Ghosts of Greylock, The Haunting of Gabriel Ash, which I loved both of those. Those are the ones I read. He did so many, and I love his books. I still have them.
Yeah.
They're so good.
I grew up on Goosebumps, and then which I'll still read those because I do like those. Those are just campy.
Yeah. If you give me some campy horror, I'm all in.
But I can't I would read like all these spooky horror storybooks.
Like this is an older movie now, but I recently this year watched Bodies, 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 which is it's like from 2021, so like it just went on to Netflix or whatever, and I watched it because like when it was coming out I was like, oh, that seems interesting, and then I never watched it.
Yeah.
But it has I don't know like their names, but
I just
it's one of
searched
the
it.
girls who was in Bottoms, the new movie that came out, which is also so funny.
Rachel Sennott?
I have no idea her name,
Okay.
and I'm not gonna bother looking it up because that'll be time. But she's in Bottoms. She's like one of the main characters in Bottoms, which great movie as well.
Yeah.
Campy, love it, crazy. But Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is so interesting. Like watching it because it's like one death leads to a whole bunch of other deaths
Oh
because they
yeah,
think
you were
there's a
telling me
murderer in the
about this.
house.
About this,
Yeah,
yeah.
they think there's a murderer in the house, and so they end up killing this one guy because they think he's the murderer. And then this other girl overdoses, and then they are like, "Oh my god, there's a murderer! It's one of us." And then another girl dies, and like it goes on and on. And it's so good because the very end is them realizing the guy died on accident because of his own fault, and every death after that was like their fault and not justified. It was just like, oh, we killed that guy. He didn't kill anyone. The guy killed himself on accident because he was fucking around with a machete. And it's so good, and it's so like it's like kind of campy horror in the sense of they're like freaking out, and it's like kind of like I think Scary Movie-esque. It's really good.
Yeah, Scary Movie is the only scary movies I will watch now.
For some reason I've started getting into horror only because not even horror, because I started watching a lot of psychological movies.
Yeah, I
And
hate
I was
psychological.
like, I watched Miller's Girl and I was like, oh my god, I love this.
So like growing up, I'd watch them all the time, and then like I think it was the one Quiet Place. I think was the beginning to the end of scary movies for me. That movie messed me up.
Miller's Girl isn't scary, but it's technically like a psychological movie.
Yeah.
Just because, in my opinion, it's very much a movie you would watch in high school and analyze, which I love. I don't know what it is that I was just like, this is something you analyze, and I love it. Have you watched Miller's Girl?
When did it come out?
It's on Netflix. I know that.
Oh, it just came out recently. No, again, I don't watch thrillers.
I will watch it with
someone else, but I can't watch it myself.
Oh no, yeah, it's not scary at all.
It's got it's got Martin Freeman and Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, that. And I love Jenna Ortega. That's a horror movie I watched recently was X because of Jenna Ortega.
I kind of love it. Scream. I will watch the new Screams because it's got Jenna Ortega, and also because I kind of do like the Scream movies. They're kind of, I would say they're campy. Are they not?
I haven't watched murder mystery.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's basically, well, the first one has the guy who plays Shaggy in the live action Scooby Doo's from the early 2000s. I forgot his name. Mark Shep? No.
Oh my god, he's so iconic too. I can't remember his name. He's so iconic, though.
I know. Hold on, I'm looking it up. Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, Lillard.
Yeah, he plays.
I knew.
He's a geek, but he decides to become a serial killer in the first movie, and so he dresses in this classic Scream mask, and then he goes and basically goes on a murder spree, and then takes it's a whole thing, and then they catch him, and then it becomes like an urban legend was the Scream mask, kind of like how it spawned a whole bunch of movies, but now there's Jenna Ortega's, and I don't understand how it happened, how those work out, but because I haven't really watched them yet, but it's I think she and her sister are fighting him, I guess, or and it's a multi-series thing, kind of like how the later Halloweens happened, but yeah, that's the only other scary movie I will watch. I can't do Halloween and I can't do any of the
I don't do scary Halloween. I don't do horror movies. So Miller's Girl is not a horror. It's not even a thriller. There's nothing scary or jumpy at all in it. It is just about a student-teacher relationship, and basically I don't want to spoil nothing. There's one kiss between them that actually happens.
Yeah.
But it's such an interesting thing of who's in the wrong here? Was this her plan the whole time? Because Oh, I don't want to ruin any lines for you because some of them are so like, oh my god, that's such a good line.
Uh-huh.
But there is a part of like a callback to the beginning that makes you rethink everything that's
Oh, so is
happened.
she like manipulating everything?
You don't know because she's also having like an emotional response to everything that's happened,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not clear if it
Yeah.
was actually like planned or not, and I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
might
good.
watch it. I don't know. I don't do thrillers. I used to, and then I watched.
It's not a thriller
Oh
at
well,
all.
yeah, yeah. You keep it saying that. Yeah. I
It's
don't
really
know.
not. I promise.
Yeah.
It
Uh,
like I would watch this and then fall asleep right after.
yeah. I might check it out. I have a lot of stuff I have to catch up on because of my
Yeah,
last semester. I've and then I have also a billion books I need to catch up on reading.
it's so good. All right, well then I'll just spoil the line for you.
Yeah.
So if you don't want this spoiler, if you haven't watched Miller's Girl, skip ahead a bit. So basically, she in the beginning of the movie, she's writing her essay for Yale to apply to Yale,
Mm-hmm.
and the question is, "What is your greatest achievement?" And as a joke, her friend says like, "Oh, you could do a whole writing of like how society views relationships between different ages of people and like taboo romance kind of a thing." And
Mm-hmm.
at the very end, her friend comes to see her like, "How do you haven't said anything? Everything's going to shit. Like what's going on?" And she's reading out her essay. And it's like and her friend's like, what are you reading?" And she's like, "This is by far my greatest achievement." And it's so good. And it's also because like it's an English teacher
Mm-hmm.
and he wrote a book and she reads his book and it's like the oh my god, what's the line? Um something the ruins of a madman's love.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a good line.
Mm-hmm.
And she repeats it in her essay because she's like, I want to know what that feels like. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just so good. I love that movie.
Yeah. But
It's so good.
yeah,
Jenna
I will.
Ortega is so talented.
Yeah, no, Jenna Ortega. I cannot wait for her Wednesday. Are they even doing Wednesday
They're
season
doing a
two?
season 2.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
cannot
they're
wait for her.
filming.
Yeah, that was like, if they ruin it, I will cry.
There
It
were
was so
parts
good.
I didn't love,
Yeah,
but overall, I really enjoyed Wednesday.
I hope
As
they.
someone who is a bit of a Wednesday fanatic and
Yeah,
has worn a Wednesday dress several times, normally
yeah,
it doesn't fit anymore, which is why I don't wear it anymore because it got too short,
hmm,
which is crazy because I don't grow.
yeah,
But I would wear it so often. I love that dress so much.
yeah. I grew up watching the Addams Family, like the old stuff, and then we watched
Mm-hmm.
the movies, and those were like our favorite Halloween. It was some of our favorite Halloween movies, and then
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday came out, and it just I had low expectations because of Netflix.
Yeah,
Because of usually they either have
I
the
was very worried.
I was very worried because they usually do really shitty on stuff like this, and for it to like be half as good as it was,
Yeah,
I was
I
shocked.
was blown away.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what they do for the second season because
Uh-huh.
there's so many pairings that people root for.
I
Um,
I low
the
key.
only one I hate
Mhm.
is the one guy who's trying too hard, who gives
Oh,
her like
the one
gives her
that
the phone at the end.
it was either one that knew her as a child.
He's
The
not the monster guy.
Yeah, no, the
So
arrow
yeah,
dude, the archer.
yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of hope they bring the monster dude back. I ship
Oh,
it.
100%. I
I
loved
ship it.
him.
He
And also, it just makes sense to me that
Yeah,
Wednesday would be into it.
yeah, she would be into it, and it's like kind of mirroring her and her dad or her parents'
Hmm.
relationship, kind of.
And it's just like, I hated that one guy. He was so annoying. And
It
like him giving
is.
Wednesday the phone at the end pissed me off so much.
Yeah.
Because like, that's her whole thing. She doesn't do that.
Mhm.
Uh, the one gripe I have about that show, like, this is the only thing I didn't enjoy, was the family dynamics for Wednesday.
Yeah,
Because, like,
between her mom
they're the
and...
Addams.
Yeah.
Their whole thing is that they love each other.
And, like, her mom, like, they're supposed to... Their whole thing is that they were supposed to be a character... What's the word? They're just supposed to be, like, a parody of the Modern Family.
Yeah.
And I don't like how Wednesday's mom...
They made them stereotypical, and they're supposed to be the opposite
Yeah.
of stereotypical.
Yeah. And it's just like... But I kind of hope it gets better.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think they'll probably... I think everyone was really mad about that. So, like, I think they'll probably fix that in the second season, is my hope. Yep. But I know Jenna Ortega, she's got this.
Yeah.
I do say I prefer her and Tyler. Like, I do really enjoy that romance.
Yeah.
But her and her roommate would be really funny and really adorable.
It would be funny. But I really like her and the her roommate and the other dude. I forgot his name.
Yeah, I really like them, but like that last episode really turned me, and I love the sunshine black cat vibe. You know,
my thing is also
considering my golden retriever boyfriend.
Well, it is cute. Like that, if it did become a relationship, I wouldn't be mad. But also, like, what I also think it'd be just really cool for her to have a really nice friendship.
Yeah, and I would also enjoy that because you don't really like. You don't imagine Wednesday having friends.
Yeah.
And I think that is like what she needs, is that wholesome, like, this is a person I can rely on who isn't a part of my family, that I can rely on, that loves me, you know, and isn't going to go away.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's a lot of her reason for isolating herself.
Yeah.
Because it's Wednesday Addams. She's scary. She's spooky, ooky.
Yeah.
Like, you don't talk to Wednesday. She doesn't talk to you, kind of a thing. And I would love her to get a good friendship outside of her family.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, but...
So Bridgerton, guys.
Yeah, Bridgerton. Oh, but we were gonna go back and talk about my wife.
Oh, Colin.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a wife guy, and I'm really disappointed.
It's good. The wife guy it was giving Ned Fulmer from Try Guys.
Yes, it was giving a fake my wife guy.
Yeah, minus the cheating.
Yeah, just I was a bad husband.
I actually, honestly, at one point was like, "Oh my god!" When he was getting drunk.
You know what? No. You know what? It was giving Ned Fulmer when it should have been Shane Top.
Yes. Yes.
Dude, I'm obsessed with them. They're so adorable.
Honestly, can I be honest? I thought what they were going to do is that he was, when he was getting drunk, and then everyone left, I was like, oh my god, they better not have him, like, go to the brothel. I would have thrown my phone across, because I was watching it on my phone. I would have thrown it, because, like,
I would have been
Netflix would do. That's something Netflix would do. If I'm honest. And I would have thrown my phone across the room if he did that. I
was so upset.
I would have been so upset. I would have actually ended my watch through right there and then and never watched anything Bridgerton ever again.
I was so upset with this season. And what is so annoying is that the press tour was better than the season, first of all. We can all agree.
Yes.
Nicola Coughlan and Luke Newton killed it. Except Luke Newton, then, right after Part 2 drops, hard launches his new girlfriend after everyone had been shipping him and Nicola.
Yeah.
That was kind of
you went through actors, though. Yeah.
Like, I get it. It's not great for real person shipping. Like, okay, don't have so much chemistry, but...
well, no, they're actors, so, like... I get it. I kind of figured it was, like, a press tour thing.
Yeah. Like, I would have loved for them to be together, but also, like, real person shipping is icky.
Oh, yeah.
And I try my best not to do it. I have hope, but, like, I'm not gonna, like, go online and be like, oh my god, these people have to be together.
Yeah.
But him doing that, the second Part 2 drops, I feel so bad for the girlfriend to be like, you're gonna do this to
They're
me?
crazy people. Like, I mean,
because people are pissed.
Yeah. No,
Like,
I went on there and I was like, did no one else see this coming? Like, seriously, they're actors. I don't actually think they were actually going to get together.
Yeah, like I had hope, but I wasn't
I hope,
expecting
but I
anything.
did not expect it at all. And
then it's like you're opening your girlfriend up to getting so much hate. Why would you do that?
Yeah. I will say though, apparently there are like a whole bunch of deleted scenes that didn't make the cut that were pinned
Yeah,
on.
I heard about that.
And I was like, okay, can you please release them?
Because they would make the show a lot better.
Yeah. Like, honestly, like, I hate what Netflix does is do hour-long 8-episode seasons.
Yeah.
Like,
bring
don't do
back
that.
20-episode seasons, dude.
Bring those back. I don't care if they're 30-minute long. It would give, because, like, if this was, like, a 20 season, or 20-episode season, each 30-minute long, and they all, you would have had all this time for Benedict's threesome.
All these storylines you try to cram into 8 episodes.
Yeah. It like, if it was at least 20, you would have had time. You would have,
because shows used to be like 20 to 25 episodes long minimum, and it's just like for seasons.
Yeah, and then or like even 45. Like, okay, let's take Supernatural for example. Early seasons, there were like 20 episodes per season, 45-minute long, and they had so much like that's how they got you in, is that there was so much character development in those seasons. Like, like, I know you haven't watched. Have you watched Supernatural? I can't remember.
I watched the first 2 seasons, I think, and then I quit.
Okay, so
but my parents have watched it like 7 times, so I've seen episodes.
I haven't watched after like season 10, 11. I can't remember, but like, Dean and Sam, like, even from season 1 to 2, Dean and Sam at the beginning versus end of season 2, completely different people. And that's what, when you get to like Bridgerton or something, and this is supposed to be an entire season long, which is like the summer, like from spring to almost autumn.
Yeah.
All the characters kind of seem static.
Yeah. There's no development.
Like,
in the season.
Yeah. And it's like, and
then it's like all of a sudden, oh my god, there's been so much development off screen.
Yeah. And then, like, because that was my whole thing with Colin and Penelope, is that, like, you can see them get together right at the end, and then, like, 5 minutes later, they're happy. They're like kissing.
They have a baby.
Where was that? Where was that?
Give me my happiness, Netflix. Yeah. Why can't I just be happy?
Like, and then, like, the whole Benedict thing, that was, I thought it was implied that it was a single night, but apparently it was multiple nights, and it was just like continuous throughout, like, what, episode 2 and or not 2 and 3, 7 and 8 or something. I don't know. It was, I honestly skipped through all those parts.
Wow, you hate the gays.
I don't, but I just, like, I watched the first one and I was like, okay, and then it was just like kept on continuing, and I'm like,
yeah. One thing I don't enjoy is the ratio of screen time to sex scenes to actual meaningful scenes.
Yeah.
In Bridgerton. Which is also how I felt about Game of Thrones. Like, watching Game of Thrones, because I didn't watch it, for a long time. I watched it last year.
Yeah.
For the first time. I think it was last year. It was either last year or like at the beginning of this year, but I think it was the end of last year.
I still haven't watched it, but I'm not watching on the principle that I hated the first book. I stopped halfway through because they killed the doggies.
Yeah, honestly, if you can't handle like a lot of fucked up, like, things.
I can. I
like, in the sense of like my hard line usually in books. This is my hard line for books is sexual assault essay.
Yeah,
because I don't know what it is reading it. I read The Kite Runner in high school because we had to, and I felt sick for months after. Like, that is my hard line. And for movies or something, I for some reason have a lot easier time handling it. I feel like
usually it's like off screen.
Well, not in Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
But it's like kind of off screen, kind of not.
Yeah.
Because like in the one thing that I'm thinking of, he makes one of the a childhood friend of hers watch, and it focuses in on his face. So you're not seeing it, but like you hear her screams and stuff like that. It's bad.
That's also why I couldn't get into it, because I was like, oh, there's so much.
There's a lot of icky things you have to be able to handle.
Yeah.
And I think I handle it better for TV because there's more separation.
Yeah.
Between me and the character, because like books, you're in it. This is you.
Yeah,
and it's really bad.
I like there were scenes where I skipped, like, because I stopped halfway through whenever they killed off the dogs or the wolves. I stopped that book right then and there. I like through the couple
Sansa's wolf.
Yeah, Sansa's wolf. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I think that's the first one to go.
Lady. Yeah, and then Arya's like runs away.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I can't read this. I was kind of upset because it was the only book I brought to school.
There are some rough moments with the dogs that really, really hurt. And I know they're dire wolves. I will call them dogs. I don't care.
I mean, yesterday I kept
good boys.
I mean, me yesterday calling the wolves dogs. At first, I was like, wait, no,
that was rough because we had to kill them.
I know, and I felt bad, but like in the book. In Strahd's campaign, sorry, spoiler, kind of. In the campaign, the wolves are bad. They will attack you because they are buddies with Strahd, and Strahd likes testing you guys.
Yeah.
And I probably should have had... Again, I totally misunderstood what level you guys were. So,
It was funny. It was
funny. I told my dad this after, like, right after I got off the phone. I was like, I almost TPK'd everyone.
I didn't take any damage.
Yeah, you physically
for real.
Yeah, you didn't, but I literally almost killed Not and Yesen's character, and I was about to cry. I was like tearing up,
and I was like, does anyone have any healing?
Yeah,
the druid.
Yeah, that's when I think it was right when you said that. I was like, oh, I'm fudging. I'm gonna end up fudging the rolls. I did this badly.
Yeah. But back to my point about Game of Thrones. There's a lot of nudity in Game of Thrones, season 1 especially.
Yeah.
Because that's how people were like, this is how we keep people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
Which, watching, I was like, dude, can't we just have some clothes on? I'm trying to pay attention to the plot and your titties are out. Please. Please. I just want to get the plot. I'm interested. And I will say it is a good show. There's a lot of hard topics. But it is a good show up until season 7.
I am... What was that?
One of the hardest, saddest scenes is Hodor's death.
It was either one
you know Hodor.
Yeah. I don't
he
think
just says Hodor.
Yeah, okay, I do know about him. Because, again, I was on Tumblr when this was going on. And a lot of my mutuals would just watch that and reblog it. And so I know a lot about it without knowing.
Basically, his death, what happens is throughout the whole series, his death is like a few seasons from the end. But throughout the whole thing, you're watching. All he says is Hodor. You grow to love Hodor because he's just a simple guy. And Bran learns how to warg, basically possess. And he's in the past looking at things because it's a crazy storyline. And I hate it, honestly. Bran as the Raven was really annoying. But he's in the past at the moment, like mentally. And they're getting attacked. Him and a few people in Hodor in physical, real, present day life are getting attacked. And they're like, you have to warg into Hodor. Because his mind is simple enough, he can warg into it. And so he's hearing this, like, echoing into his brain while he's in the past. And he wargs into past Hodor. And the girl it's like opening up a link between present and past. And so the girl in the party, like in the group, is screaming at Hodor to hold the door. And so we watch young Hodor, who talks, repeatedly say, hold the door, as he's seizing. And he keeps seizing, and his words become more slurred until all he's saying is Hodor, because he watched his death as he got clawed holding this door from all these skeletons. And it's so upsetting and it's so sad. It's so bad.
That does
and
sound bad.
It's one of the like deaths that hit me the hardest.
Yeah.
But I will say, if you watch anything, you should watch this one clip from Battle of the Bastards, where Jon Snow, basically what happens is Battle of the Bastards is between Jon Snow and Sansa's husband, who was forced upon her and who forced himself upon her, who is a bad guy, bad guy, and we hate him.
Is it Robert or something?
Huh?
Was it Robert or something?
No.
Robert.
God, no. No. She is
What's his name?
engaged to Joffrey in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's not Joffrey. It's Ramsay Bolton. That's the name.
Oh, that's one. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. So it's Jon Snow versus Ramsay Bolton. And Ramsay has his little brother, Rickon. Rickon ends up dying. Shocker. Which Sansa knew would happen, because, like, as soon as Ramsay got Rickon, she knows him. Like, she's like, we're not getting him back. He's already dead, basically. And he kills him in front of Jon. Jon runs towards him because Rickon's running towards him. Because they're doing, like, a trade kind of a thing. So he's on his horse, running towards him. Rickon dies. He's in the middle of the battlefield alone when Ramsay sends all of his men forward, push forward, go attack. All these horses are stampeding towards Jon Snow, who is alone. And it's just the shot of Jon pulling his sword from the scabbard and, like, preparing himself to fight as all of these horses storm towards him. I'll send you the clip after this.
I actually think I've seen it because Tumblr.
It's so impactful, dude. It's so good. Of just this man's, just his character.
Yeah.
Of, I will fight until I die. And I don't care how many people I'm fighting. And, like, just so much of, like, I will protect my people.
Yeah.
And I love it so much. Jon Snow is amazing. Great character.
Yes.
And I can't wait to read the books. I don't have them yet. But I really want to wait until they're all out. But I know that's going to be a long time and might never happen.
Yeah.
So I really want to read them, though. But it's so... Battle of the Bastards is such a good episode. It's crazy. Just the emotion. It's so good. Anyway. Yeah. But I'm really into, like, film things somewhat. I watch a lot of Dylan Is in Trouble, who some of his videos, he does a lot of, like, film analysis kind of a thing and commentary. Like, most of it's commentary, but sometimes he'll, throughout his videos, go through and, like, pick out, like, film things, and it's so interesting to watch and, like, learn. It's so cool.
Yeah. No, it sounds really interesting. I
highly recommend this.
Yeah. I used to I took a couple film classes. Well, not took a couple. I took one in high school, and I just, like, loved learning about different film aspects. Like,
it's so interesting.
It is. Like
directing choice and choice of shots and, like, things you don't notice when you're watching, but the second they're pointed out to you, you're like, oh my god, that's so cool.
No, like, anything by Hitchcock absolutely blows me away sometimes. It's just...
Now that I've started watching him and I got into, like, his film, like, and analysis kind of things, that he started doing them a little bit more. Since I started, because, like, they're mixed in with his commentary, so it's called a commentary, but sometimes he analyzes. Ever since I started watching that, when I would be watching shows and stuff, I'm like, this is a good shot. Oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And oh my god, he watched all of the After movies, and it's so funny, dude. Because he has a series he does, where he watches something until he hates himself. It's so funny, dude. I highly recommend.
What are the After movies again? Are those
the After books after the Harry Styles fanfiction?
Oh yeah,
by Anna Todd.
Right. Yeah, those. Yeah,
they're so bad, dude. They're so bad.
I mean, the book or the movie?
Funny to watch. I've not read the books. It's all bad.
Yeah,
I highly recommend his videos on it though, because they're so funny.
Yeah.
They're so just he has this like little like stuffed animal thing that's Screamosaurus Rex that makes this horrible screaming noise when you squish it. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I'll have to look into him.
He actually just made a video. He does like beer in movies where he explains like certain shows and like stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like more in-depth analysis kind of a thing. And he did Mortal Instruments recently, which I'm really nervous to watch because I love the Mortal Instruments books. The first movie was pretty good. Like it stayed pretty true.
I actually loved the movie, and I was so upset.
It stayed pretty true. The only thing I would say is wrong with the movie is casting.
I will for the main for Jace and Clary, I did like their casting.
Yeah, there was just I am a big Matthew Daddario fan, so when he was Alec in the show, I was happy. But I also love Alec and Magnus. Are the only reason like I would ever watch season 1 again of the show. It was so bad.
I thought Magnus was the same in the TV show and in the movie.
I don't think so, but I'm not sure. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
I got Yeston to watch part of season 1, I think, like a few episodes, because I was like, you need to see how garbage this is.
Yeah.
Because for Christmas, not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before, I think, I got him the Infernal Devices books and annotated all of them because they're my favorite. And so I was like, you have to read this series, and this is where you can start, I guess, even though you should start with Mortal Instruments, but whatever. Mm-hmm. And then I showed him some of the Shadowhunter show, and I was like, it's so bad. You can't imagine how happy I was to hear this was coming out, and the disappointment at watching it.
Yeah.
It was so bad. They went completely off book. Oh my god. It was horrible. Yeah. And so I'm nervous to watch that video about it because I don't want to be reminded of how garbage that TV show was.
Yeah, no, I watched a couple clips because I was going to watch it because, again, I was obsessed with the Shadowhunters. I was obsessed with the Mortal Instruments series. And then
my sister is actually the one who got me to read them because she read Mortal Instruments, the first few, and was obsessed. And so I was like, fine. She finally wore me down and I read them. And I was like, oh my god, I love these. And I flew past her and I was like, I'm reading all of this.
My best friend in middle school, Brendan, different Brendan than the one I talk about a lot that I knew in high school. He got me into it because he was like, because we were in our same 6th grade class, and then he was like, you need to read these. I was like, I don't know, I'll read them. And then like in middle school or high school, he was like, you really need to read these. Not middle school. In middle school, not high school. Yeah, and he was like, so funny. It was so good.
My sister loved them. We were in middle school at this point. She was obsessed because I didn't read them until 7th grade, and she read them in 6th, like at the start of them. And in the cafeteria of our middle school, there were these the walls were windows on the one side, basically, and you could see like the top roof of the building because it like extended next to us, and crows would hang out there, or like ravens or whatever would hang out there all the time. And one character in the Mortal Instruments has like a raven, and so she was like obsessed and would love these ravens. It was like, oh my god, the ravens. It was so funny. But yeah,
and then she got me
I hate ducks because of Will Herondale. I will fully say that I hate ducks specifically because Will Herondale is afraid of them, and I love them. I love Will Herondale, and so I hate ducks. Is what I meant. It's so good. I love it.
Sorry, that is still a random thing, is to have a character that hates ducks.
I know, but it like makes sense.
It does.
And like I love that he had a reason too, of like they're cannibals if you give them the chance.
I mean, chickens are like that too.
Yeah. But ducks, you know.
Yeah. Ducks.
Will Herondale hates ducks. And honestly, that book series is maybe the only time I have read a love triangle that actually had me invested in both love interests.
Yeah. And I also
I
kind of
wanted them both.
Yeah, I loved how they and then I loved how Clandessa Claire
Cassandra.
What was that?
I don't know what you just said.
Yeah, Cassandra Clare. I love how at the end, slight spoiler, but the books have been out for over a decade, I think.
For a long time.
Yeah, for a long time. I loved how at the end, oh my god, what's Jem? Was it Jem?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jem and Tessa get together. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know
It's
what?
like a few series later.
Yeah.
But they get together. Like, she ends up with both of them. And I'm like, you're living my dream. Except it's also, so, like, this is the one thing of, like, when I annotated the books for Yeston, I was saying, like, yeah, because you remind me of both Jem and Will at times. And I was like, because it's, you know, it's one of those, like, you are both of my dream men.
Yeah.
But I still have a lot of fictional book boyfriends. Don't tell him. He knows.
Yeah.
He has them too. It's fine. Literally, it was so funny when I was like telling him about My Lady Jane, because I was like, dude, you're gonna love this. It's Bipanic Central. Oh, it's very funny. We do that a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that entire series
It was
so good. Also, did you know I found out recently, I don't know if this will make you hate it or like it. It was originally a Ginny and Ron fanfiction.
Oh.
Yeah. Like
I think I've heard about that before, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I mean, it makes sense, but
it does make sense with what happens.
But like my brain.
To be fair, the Mortal Instruments series itself specifically is my least favorite.
Yeah, I prefer the
Infernal Devices
or Infernal Devices. Yeah,
Infernal Devices is my number one. Dark Artifices is currently my number two because I haven't read Magnus and Alex books yet, or The Last Hours. I'm really behind on her books.
I am too. I've only read those two series. I haven't had time. Well,
The Dark Artifices is so good.
Yeah,
it was such a twist for me.
Was that the
that is
other pair that's like in
it's
LA?
Carstairs, and it's okay. Emma Carstairs, and a Blackthorn.
Yeah,
Julian Blackthorn. And it's so interesting because she really switches up. So, like, basically, in the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices, it's first few books, pining, yearning, whatever. They're maybe together, but still kind of not. And then at the very end of the final book, they have sex. That's usually the whole lineup she does. In the Dark Artifices, it's like first 10 chapters, they're banging. and then the drama comes. And it's like, oh, we can't be together. But they already have that love, and they know they love each other, and they just want to be together because they're parabatai. They can't.
Yeah.
It's
okay,
so
because I think I read the first couple chapters, or first chapter, because it was at the end of, oh god, I want to say it was, they had it at the end of, as like a bonus chapter at the end of one of the series.
Probably.
And
it's so good.
And it was good. And then I was like,
that is another one that if you read those, you will cry.
Yeah. Because I was going to read it, and then high school hit, and I moved, and then I stopped reading for a bit.
I think there's a very clear improvement in her writing from Infernal Devices to Dark Artifices, just because of like the plot and like the pacing feels a lot better. And I love Infernal Devices because it's also like Regency kind of Victorian times, 1800s.
So like each one, okay, so like Infernal Devices, that's obviously Victorian steampunk, but even City of Bones also gave me steampunk, but still modern, kind of. That's what I liked about it, is because like I think that series was the first like urban fantasy. Because one thing about me is that's all I read is urban fantasy.
Yeah,
and I don't know, it was very unique. probably one of the first ones, and then that's also what got me into steampunk, that the infernal devices, and I also adore steampunk because who doesn't like magic and clockwork?
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's so cool. I love the whole theming.
Yeah.
And demon pox. Hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the dark artifices, it's a lot more of like kind of focusing on like the magic-y bits and fae and stuff. And, like with the how it goes, like it's such like a family focused, this is our little group, this is who we protect kind of a thing, and like we're looking out for each other and no one else. And it's so cute, and they're going through all this. Everyone's got like issues that they're dealing with. There is a poly relationship because the love triangle turns into poly, which was really confusing to me because the love triangle itself, like how it starts, was really weird. But like I'm fine with it. Whatever, they were side characters. Well, not to, I'm okay with poly relationships. I think that's a great answer to love triangles. It was just that some sides of the love triangle felt very weak, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like that final connecting side felt very weak and rushed. But like for the majority of the book, like there's them struggling with their love for each other and taking care of the family. There's one who's like, they're twins and they're struggling to be their own person. Like one of them is struggling to be their own person and not having to stick next to this other person all the time. And there's a new kid their age coming into the picture, and that there's like a gay romance between them that's like hinted at and like trying to understand. And like the one kid's autistic, and it's like, but they don't know that autism exists because that's not as a mundane thing, that's not a Shadowhunter thing. And it's so interesting just how much more character everyone had. Like everyone was fully fleshed out a lot more, in my opinion, in the dark artifices. And like you're rooting for every single one of the kids. And it's so good. And when certain things happen, your heart is ripped out, dude. It's so painful. And like the cutest part is at the end of the books, it's family at the end of the day that makes everyone, like that fixes things, that makes everything better. Because parabatai and everything, that's a whole problem. But at the end of the day, it's the family that brings them back to who they are. And it's so cute, and I love those stories so much. I'm a sucker for a family-focused story. Sucker.
No, I also love those, and I don't think
like single parents, like stuff like that. Having like the kid call you mom for the first time, like I will be sobbing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Bridgerton.
That was Bridgerton.
Those were our thoughts on specifically just Bridgerton. We didn't talk about anything else.
Yeah. Yep.
Look, tangents are unavoidable.
Yeah. But it's still fun.
Hey, we talked about Bridgerton and we gave some more recommendations. I think our next episode for bonus episodes is going to be discussing books that got us into writing.
Oh,
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Oh, then I am going to be talking about Ellie Card the entire time.
Me too, dude. Me too.
I love her books. I love her.
She literally saved my life. She is my idol.
She is what got me into reading, and once I met her in person, she's what got me into writing.
Yeah. So that is your little teaser for next bonus episode. We're not going to get into it because there will be nothing left.
Yeah.
But
it will be another 3-hour long video.
Pretty much. It'd be a long one.
Yeah.
And we're trying to keep these to like an hour and a half. So
yeah.
Yes. So next time will be Allie Carter and getting into writing because we are depressed. And that is the end. We're out. Bye.
Yeah, bye.